In this session, we will see about performing a constraints between two objects in Blender. And before that, I will explain you what type of constraints available in Blender and different categories are there. Like in Maya, if you see point constraint, orient constraint, parent constraint, like that. So the same kind of stuff available over here, but in different name, in different forms, it is available. So let us check. Let us check with the constraints over here first now. Uh, so here in the properties, here right now I don't need that outliner, so I'm just snapping that. Okay, over here on the right side panel over here you can see like list of icons. In this one, if you go to this blue color object, like this one, object constraints. Okay, so here in Blender we have two constraints available, two type of constraints available, which is like the first type is like the object constraint, and the second one is like the bone constraints or like armature constraints. So the object constraints only used for this kind of, only for the objects, and the bone constraints is for using the skeletons and doing a constraint between those skeletons and meshes. For that purpose, skeleton that constraint will be used. So for this one right now I'm just using objects. So I'm going to add one more object over here. Yeah. So in this one, the cylinder is going to act like my parent, and this cube is going to be my child object. Okay, so let's check how to apply that one. Usually in Maya we used to select the parent and then the child, and then we apply the constraint. But over here in Blender, we need to select the child object and then go for this icon over here on the properties editor window. Just click on that blue color icon over here. You can see that object constraints, and over here you can get that drop down list menu over here, add object constraint, and you can see like some variety of types, variety of constraints available over here, like motion tracking, transform, tracking, and relationship, like that. So I will explain you about this one, copy location. The copy location is nothing but it copies the parent's object position location to your child object, which is similar to a point constraint in Maya. Okay, so I'm just clicking on the copy location over here. So in this copy location window over here, you can see the target and some axes they have given, invert, offset, and then some spaces and influence, everything. This influence is nothing but the weight of that particular constraint on that child object. Okay, so let us check with this target over here. So the target represents which object is going to be like the parent. So here you can see like our cylinder is going to be a parent. So this icon represents, if you click on this one, you can show like whatever the objects present inside this particular current scene, it will be displayed over here. So from here you can select your parent, or else over here you can see like the picker icon, color picker icon kind of. So if you click on that one, and it will show you like that object names and all. So it will pick up your current object wherever you are clicking that object. So right now my parent, I'm just decided for this cylinder, so I'm just clicking on that one. See, the moment when I clicked on that one, automatically the child snaps to the parent's location. Okay, so here we have that attributes x, y, z and all, everything on. So let us check like if my parent, the cylinder object moves, how it's going to affect that child. I'm pressing G and then moving. So over here, when my parent moves, the child also moves over here. At any axis, it will be like that. Okay, like that. Fine. Now we'll explore rest of the options over here on this copy location thing. Over here we have an option like X, means which axis need to be active. Currently we need to get it from parent. So right now I just want to get the position, means the child need to be activated only on X axis. So I'm just disabling this Y and Z axis. Okay, right now my parent is there. So G, X axis. If I move, you can see the child is also moving. The child cube is also moving according to that. Now we'll check what will happen if I do it in Y axis. There is no effect on the child object. And G and Z axis, no, nothing, because since we have given the option like only on x-axis it need to be get affected. If I give x and z-axis, now check. If you move that object parent in y-axis, no effect. But if I move that object in x-axis or z-axis, child is responding, and g and x-axis, it's responding. Okay, fine. So now you understood how these attributes are being worked. And now we have option like invert. So how this invert works? For that, I'm just disabling this, and y-axis I'm just taking. And if I click on invert, you can see like exactly opposite direction. So now I'm selecting a parent and then gy. See how far my parent is going in one axis, the same direction in opposite side my child will go. Okay, so this is how the invert function will work. So over here, yeah, the influence, the weight over here. So let us check. So when this parent moves till here, this child is also moving almost to this region. Now if you reduce the influence, so here when I'm reducing the influence, almost it's like, wait, I'm pressing G and Y. See, my parent reaches on this units, but the child is over here, still over here only. Over here only. Okay, so that's how the influence will work. Selecting the child, clicking on this cross button over there on the right side. Now if I move my object, see over here the cube got rested over there, set rest position over there, like that. So like that this cross button will work. Okay, so this is one type of copy location, and the same for the other type of constraints over here. Okay, and we can add a copy rotation also, any number of constraint types over here like that. And if you want to remove the constraint over here, you can simply click on the cross button over here nearby the visibility icon, just remove that, so your child object doesn't have any other constraints anymore. Okay, so this is one type of constraint. Next I will explain you about the aim constraint. When my object moves, the camera need to follow that particular object. So how to perform that one? So I'm just adding one mesh over here, cube. So this is my parent right now, and the camera is going to be a child. Right now I'm selected my child object, which is the camera, and then go to the constraint, object constraint over there, and click on add object constraint, and over here I am just going to give a tracking. Okay, so track 2, just click on that. So here you can see like track 2, the same target, and then this one. So I'm just going to pick this object over here. Before that, I will show you like from the camera view how it's okay, right. And one more splitting I'm just doing over here, and this one is going to be our camera. Okay, fine. Now we have our attribute over here. Okay, fine. So I'm just going to pick our parent. Right now, after picking up our parent, you can see the camera got the position got changed, the rotation, something happened, right? So you can manipulate that one by using this one. In the up axis, you just give y axis, and this one is like minus z axis. Just why I'm giving means over here this z axis is now connected to this object z axis. Okay, so right now if I move this object, you can see the camera is following our parent object. Okay, so like this only we can track, and also we can move our camera also. See, the camera is like aiming at our parent object only. So like that we can do this constraint. Okay, and one more constraint I will explain, which is like the clamp tool. Okay, so for that purpose I'm just going to add one Bezier curve. Okay, because this constraint, this clamp to constraint, it will work only with the curves. It won't work with any objects or anything, just work only with the curve. Okay, so for that purpose I'm just going to the front view, front orthographic view there. I'm just going to add one Bezier curve. Just add curve Bezier. Okay, from the panel menu over here, just click on add curve and then Bezier curve. So once if you click on this one, it will like automatically create it. Okay, so it's not like interactive creation, it will automatically create that one. So in the perspective view, I will show G axis like this. If you want to modify the curve, you need to go in edit mode. Right now the curve is in object mode. Whatever it is highlighting on the some orange color, then it represents it's in object mode. So we need to do it in edit mode. In edit mode we can manipulate all those details, control vertex or anything. Just click on edit mode. So now you can see the curve and the handles we got. The handles you can just select and press G key, and you can manipulate like that, and you can select this portion and then you can move the starting and ending portion of that like that. Okay, I'm just going to extrude this curve. So to perform that, I'm just selecting the edge, any of the edge, and then go to control points, extrude curve, and then move. So now you can see one more point as added. The shortcut key is like E. Okay, fine. Now again switching back to object mode, we will get the curve over here. I'm just going to scale this up a little bit. Okay, fine. So this cube is now is going to be a child object, and this one is going to be our parent object. Okay, so for that purpose, I'm just selecting this object over here and go for the object constraint. Select that one and click on clamp 2. So here you can see only the curve items it will show. Okay, here because it's already the icon itself it's showing like only the curve object and curve. So right now I'm just giving which curve is going to be. So I'm just clicking on the curve. You can see the Bezier curve has been attached. Now if I move this child object, see over here the object moves on the curve path only. Mainly useful for doing the camera, the path animation. Mainly useful for path animation. Yeah. And once if ends over here, it stops, right? So suppose if you want need to be like looping kind of cycle, then you need to enable the cyclic option. So G, and then see now it is like continuously looping like that. You can animate. So right now I'm just opening the camera view, and already our camera is having a constraint, right? Aim constraint. So our camera will follow the object, and this object will follow the curve. So like that, we can perform a constraint. Okay, and one more constraint I will explain. That one is like non-linear kind of. In Maya, we have one option. Non-linear blend shapes like that, squash and stretch, something like that. So I'm just creating one more cylinder, or else we can take a cube. Okay, so now inserting this sphere, and then go for this one stitch 2. Okay, just click on stitch 2, and then the target I'm just giving. We have multiple cubes, so just selecting this one, so it will be easy for me to select that. Okay, now see when I select this sphere, and then if I move, when it approaches our parent object, the size is like squashing, and then the far away how it goes, it's like stretching. So something like similar to that Maya's non-linear blend shapes, like that. Okay, these things are all very useful for doing some squash and stretch kind of animations. So and also we have options to tweak that volume over here, volume variation, how much volume variation need to be, So we can pick that one like that. So this is how we can perform the constraints, and we have a lot of options, and just go through that one, and same method only. You need to select the child object, and you need to attach that constraint node, and then from the menu you just select the parent. So you'll get all those attributes. So just play through those values, so you will get to understand how the constraint is working. Okay, thank you.